Hey, I'm Dan. Today we're here for the 10th anniversary of the Sandy Hook Massacre. So just want to say we are very divided today. Obviously, our government's a mess. We're a mess as a people, but when we have a tragedy, we come together. That's one thing I can say. As Americans, we do. I mean, we're there for each other. And that was very evident 10 years ago. Whenever there's a tragedy, we're always there for each other. But unfortunately, after a few weeks go by, it's back to normal. And, that happened 10 years ago. That happens whenever we have a tragedy. That really looked like it was going to be it. I really thought that we were going to have meaningful gun legislation, and a lot of people felt that way. You had 20 beautiful children, 10 days before Christmas, just massacred. And I'm going to be pretty brutal about this because that picture needs to be painted. I mean, you had kids blown to pieces. Their parents, they had to go and identify them. And I mean, just their body parts everywhere. I mean, this looked like it was it, and nothing. The same old crap. You had the gun lobbies, you had the Republicans in Congress, and you had just your normal, everyday Second Amendment supporters. They're coming to take our guns. And that's misinformation. It's out there. It's always been out there. And someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't believe we ever even had a vote on the floor for a background check. So, I mean, that's a problem. There's so much misinformation out there. They're coming to take our guns. Nobody's coming to take your guns. I probably have a very strict view of what an American should have as a gun, which would be a handgun for protection and a hunting rifle for those who hunt. That's very strict, and that's still not taking your guns. I hate guns, but I don't believe in taking your guns away. Why it is that the Americans think, pro-gun Americans think that you should have a weapon of mass destruction. Why? I want that explained to me. Please give me a logical explanation. And I also don't think that it's legal to have that kind of weapon. Like, technically it is, but take that technicality away. How is it legal to have that kind of weapon? Where in the Second Amendment does it say that? The right to bear arms against a well-regulated militia, and I ensure, protecting yourself. It doesn't make sense. So when you're carrying a rifle or an automatic weapon around in Walmart, what are you trying to prove? I mean, it's almost like, back when it was legal to smoke when you're a teenager. You're walking around in a mall with a cigarette. I mean, what are you trying to prove? I have a right to do this, so I'm going to do it. I mean, what do you look like an asshole. You really do. So, I mean, I brought this up on Facebook yesterday, and a really good friend, I mean, I love this woman. She was coming at me a little bit. I mean, it's like automatic, you're trying to take my rights away. No, I'm not. When did I say that? When did we ever say that? It just doesn't make sense. It's just dividing us more, and it's misinformation. But, I mean, it's a lack of sensitivity. It's a lack of empathy. You get so upset with us because we want to take assault rifles off the street. Like, we should be the ones upset. Why are you getting upset at us because we want assault rifles off the streets? Because we don't want massacres every day now in our schools. Tell me. Explain it to me. Explain it to me like I'm a 5-year-old. It makes no sense. It's a total lack of empathy. It's not giving a shit about your fellow American. And I'm going to do the same thing I always do because it's what I do. It's our leaders as well. You know what? make noise. I'm going to make noise because that's what I do. And the people that get upset with me, I don't care. I have a bad reputation for doing the right thing, and I'm going to keep doing it. I'm going to keep running my mouth because somebody's got to do it. I'm going to keep doing it. You don't like it? I don't care. That's how it goes. That's how you get things done. You open your mouth and you make noise and you piss people off. Okay? You don't sit back and you don't be politically correct and do things the right way and wait for things to get done that aren't going to get done. You be loud, you piss people off, you make noise, and you get things done. Anyway, we need to honor these kids. I mean, that's why we're here. Obviously, it's a good time to bring this up, because talking about these poor kids, these 20 kids, less than 2 weeks away from Christmas. Parents had to go and identify them. You had these 6 heroes that they gave up their lives. I mean, they knew they were going to die. They knew they were going to get their heads blown off by this kid. And I mean, that's something that you just have to honor that on this day. I mean, of course, there's been countless massacres since then, but I mean, that's what today's all about. It's really bringing up the subject again that's just been, not forgotten about, but it's been put on the back burner, and it's just becoming more and more common every day. And like I said, to these pro-gun groups and the NRA, you know what? Screw you. I don't care. You don't want to be my friend anymore because I don't like guns. I don't care. People are being killed. Okay? You don't like my tone? I don't give a shit. I'm going to use this tone if people are going to keep getting murdered because of these laws, okay? This is serious. If I'm going to be the enemy because I don't want these freaking weapons on the street, so be it. This has got to stop. There's so much wrong in this country, but when we're talking about laws that are causing people to get murdered every day, innocent people, I'm done. I'm just done with this. If I'm going to lose more friends, make more enemies, so be it. I don't care. This is just wrong. These things that are happening in this country, it's just out of control. Like, I don't even recognize this country anymore. What's it going to take? As passionate as I am about getting these guns off the street, half of the country is as passionate about keeping these weapons. Is life that meaningless to you? It's just like, oh, well, the school got shot up. Hey, I'm not giving up my guns. What does life mean to you? It doesn't mean a damn thing. It's as if it has to happen to you for you to give a shit. And, summing up, it's like, again, I keep getting away from what today is, and I'm sorry about that, but there has to be an end game here. There has to be. It can't keep going on.
It's one of those things where, I was a substitute teacher at one time, and when this happened, I just stayed inside that day. I did not really feel like going anywhere, doing anything. And like Dan pointed out, a lot of good points about it. That they were children. It was before Christmas. Nobody could have done anything to deserve what happened to them. And it really should have been the last time. Skip ahead to 10 years Uvalde and plenty of things in between. And I get tired of hearing, oh, well, if there was only something we could have done, maybe we could have armed the teachers, the same teachers who were buying their own supplies. We can't give you pens and paper, but we're going to train you to shoot. It's completely illogical, and I don't know anyone who's had their gun taken away as a result of any of this. And we're not in the army. We're not fighting combat. We don't need these weapons of mass destruction around. I mean, you have to have background checks for a lot of jobs that don't even involve working with the general public. You have to be 21 to purchase alcohol. You have to be 16 to be able to drive a car. And yet but don't take my guns, don't take my assault rifles. It makes no sense. The lack of logic astounds me. And none of us should have to be here, but here we are. There was one major shooting in New Zealand, and no WMDs are allowed there anymore. How much is it going to take for us?